beauty industry, just want you to know, you are a well-kept woman. Why are you never satisfied? I mean, why do you have to try me like this? So, this was my makeup purging thing. Things that I was looking at, things that I was considering, things that I thought I could do, and I just came to myself, and I'm a better person for it. I've learned, I've grown, and my makeup may look the same, but the way I go about consuming it has been rectified as virtue of the choices that people in the makeup industry make. I just feel like it's only fair. I mean, they're always throwing stuff out there to try to get me to give them a larger portion of my income. And at a certain point in a relationship, there's that tug of war where you just have to send that clear, clean message. This is what you get, and you ought to be grateful because it's a lot. Did you get it? Did you get your cat's pajamas? Me neither. Rate, comment, and subscribe if you just like to talk about makeup sometimes. I didn't buy the cat's pajamas. I'm going to tell you up front, I like the colors. I'm going to also tell you up front, I like the way the palette looks. And I'm a little bit ashamed of myself because, you know, I am not on that team. You know, that team is sitting off in the corner, you know, like the Addams family of makeup. So I didn't pull the trigger and I didn't buy it. But I saw Laura's palette and I liked the colors, and I mean, they just interested me. I love the roses on the inside. I like the glitter on the outside. And so I thought I'd come on here and just fess up to all of that. I even thought about cruising out to the Morphe studio in Burbank, but that's too far from me, so I gave up on the idea. But I turned it around in my head, rolled down, because I heard that Morphe's going to be selling Laura Lee's palette, and I was like, oh, I might roll down to Burbank and swatch it up, see what I really think about it, because you know, gurus lie. we can't go by people who are bought and paid. And you know, I want you to know, I'm proud that they're bought and paid. I'm proud that they got a job, that they're contributing to the economy and all that kind of stuff. But before I pull that little bit of money out of my hard-earned pocket, the little quarters, dimes, and pennies that I managed to stash for my beauty needs and repertoire, I got to go see for myself, you know. But I just wanted you to know, I liked Laura Lee's palette. I am among the few that like Laura Lee's palettes. I also like cats. And you know, terms like cat lady appeals to me. I was kind of hoping to see some cats in that, you know, dancing among those roses. But, you know, I understand I am not the target market. I got that, and therefore I'm not spending my hard-earned money on the palette. I was just sitting up with my ruby red shoes on when Vizard announced that their holiday palette cost $175. I was clicking my heels hard as I could, talking about, I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. You know, I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm back to Urban Decay, Too Faced, and I started getting scared about Fenty. I'm like, you know, folks getting crazy up in this beauty world, you know? I'm a consumer. You're grooming me to look at your releases and then purchase them. $175. I'm ungroomed. I'm off the Vizard. I don't care what Stephanie Nicole says. I don't care how she talk about how finely milled it is. At 50, I'm in the conversation. At 60, You starting to lose me. I have never bought a Huda palette. 65, I'm out. On to the next palette that, ooh, I just have to say it. I really like Kylie's purple palette. Yeah, Kylie Jenner. I know again, Kylie is targeting people that could be my grandchildren. She's not coming for me. Her marketing is not coming for me normally. I mean, the bloody lip thing, Big Mama, Big Mama don't want you to have no blood on your lips. I'll be rushing you to the hospital trying to get this thing fixed up, but when I saw those purples, I was like, ooh, those are pretty. Of course, I'm not going to buy it because I have never spent a penny on Kylie Jenner. But I have to confess, I like the Kardashians. I do. I remember, when Kim was hanging with Reggie and them, and I still like her. So I'm not going to do it. And Kylie, she finally got a product that I like, and I'm thinking, well, okay, maybe she's growing now that she's having a baby and all, But I'm just not going to buy it because, again, I don't have the relationship with Kylie that would cause me to spend money on that. And makeup is kind of subjective in your mind, so I prefer to spend my money on people and companies where the PR suits me a little bit better. Okay, here's another one. Pat McGrath's Mothership palettes. I'm not going to buy it. I am not the target consumer. That is a luxury line. She's always been luxury. All of her products have been, she was selling almost a single eyeshadow for $100 with some little glitter droplets coming out of it. And I'm told she had like lip products like that too. She was never targeting me, who's an economical luxury makeup user. Oftentimes, buying bargains in the luxury lines. So when she comes out with a $129 palette, I know it wasn't intended for me. What am I doing even looking at this? Why am I looking at the videos where they're swatching this? No way. I use way too much makeup, way too often. If you knew how much makeup it took me to look this natural, you would know that I have no business looking at a $129 10-pan palette on my income. Ridiculous. But I have to confess, I did look at it. I did swoon. But I'm not going to buy a $129 palette because I'm just not. I will spend part of that money on rice and beans and turnips for my stew. Okay, this is my last confession. I still like the Anastasia Subculture palette. I like the colors in it. And now that the Prism palette has come out, it just makes me realize that I like the Subculture palette colors more. It was much more well thought out to me. I could have used it for a long period. It had dark enough darks, light enough lights. I will say that those foils, I have to admit, those were crap, but two crappy colors. Everything else was fabulous. The Prism palette, everything's nothing's fabulous. It's all okay. Maybe that one yellow color is fabulous, but the whole rest of the palette is just okay. It's not exciting. It's not dark enough for me. It doesn't have the mid-range that I want. The colors are not unique enough for me to want to add it to my makeup wardrobe. I have to admit to you up front, Subculture, eyeballing it, is the best looking palette that that Anastasia Beverly Hills has ever put out. It's the only one that has attracted me because it's unique and it goes to a place where people like me like to buy their makeup. But the reviews scared me off, that's all. The reviews scared me off. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I still look at that palette in the store and like it. Natasha Denona. I actually go into the store at Sephora and swatch Natasha Denona's $100 palettes and swoon over them regularly. I'm over the Sunset palette now. I've moved on to the Lila palette. But one day, as I was shopping and I was swooning and I was looking at it, I was like, I'm never going to spend $129 on a 10-pan eyeshadow palette. I'm not going to do it. Black Radiance, $10 palettes. I can't imagine my eyes would look any better. I mean, looking good, there's a slope that goes like this, you know, and somewhere on this side of the slope is price, and on this side of the slope is how good you're gonna look for the amount of money that you spend. Down here, you're spending your money, you look incredibly better. But when you get to the right about here, between here and here, this is 50, this is 200. You look about the same. I mean, when I see people who have Natasha Denona eyeshadow on, they don't look better. Their eye makeup doesn't look better than mine. Okay, if they're professional and they really know how to do eye makeup, then their Wet n Wild eyeshadow makeup is going to look better than my $50 makeup. But for the people who are just everyday people who do their own makeup, they do not look incredibly better in a $100 palette than they do in a $40 palette. So since I don't look at the video and see these people who look absolutely incredible in their $100 palette, and then in their $40 palette look like they need to spend a little bit more money. Sometimes there's a thing called designer whore. It's a Beverly Hills term, and it is for people who have so much money, they buy this expensive, gaudy stuff. And they look a little trashy, but expensive trashy. You know, everything they have is very expensive. They might have $50,000 worth of clothes on, but they look as trashy as somebody who had to go to the thrift store with $5 and shop out the bargain bin. It's called designer whore, because sometimes with designer stuff, you can look a little trashy. And I'm not going to name which brands have done this, but I've seen people with expensive makeup on $100 palettes, and they look a little, it's so pigmented, it looks garish on them, and consequently not their best look. I'm just saying, some things are best left in the hands of professionals. So everybody, that's my complete anti-haul. And as I admitted, I love all these products, and the reason that I'm not buying them, I kind of share that with you so you can decide, you know, maybe those things don't matter to you. Maybe, you know, you made the money and you could just buy all the makeup. But these are makeup that I would love to own if they were marketed towards me, targeted towards me. Let me know it, and price themselves accordingly and had the appropriate customer service. But since they don't, I'm keeping my money for somebody else's palette. You stay to the end of the video. God bless you and keep you. Jesus loves you, and I love you with all the Jesus in me. Thank you.